My name is Jay Cooper. I'm an attorney. I'm the chair of the entertainment practice of Greenberg Traurig. It's a rather large international firm. I'm the chair, I should say, of the entertainment department here in Los Angeles. We cover music, television, motion pictures, Broadway, and the internet in all its aspects. And our clients range from major talent to production companies to publishers to composers and writers, directors, actors, the full spectrum of people, as well as companies that deal in these particular areas. Yes, I actually studied music from the time I was 3 years old, and was very serious about music at one particular time. I graduated high school quite young, and then was ready to go on the road with bands. At the time, it was the big band era, but my parents convinced me to go to school, so music paid my way through school and through law school. And as soon as I got out of law school, I got on a band that was based here in California, came to California, and worked with the major bands and singers of the day. I worked with Les Brown and Charlie Barnett and Pres Prado, and I worked with Frank Sinatra and Nat Cole, Mel Torme, Bobby Darin, and eventually I worked with the LA Philharmonic for 6 years. Meanwhile, I was, it's a little bit amusing. People say, well, how did you get into law then if you were so busy music? And I say, drugs. Not that I was taking drugs, I wasn't, but my friends were all getting busted for possession, and I was the only one they knew with a law degree, and so I go try and help them out, and we got them all off because it was always illegal search and seizure. So, and meanwhile, while we're sitting in court, they say, read this record contract, read this movie contract, read this publishing contract, etc. And so I opened up a little office and juggling record dates and court dates, and eventually got very busy. And so here I am. Knowledge is one, knowledge of what you're doing, dedication, thoroughness, preciseness. You can't deal without those things. And so I'll add two other elements. It's not only knowing the law, but it's knowing the business that we're in. In other words, you can't negotiate a contract without understanding all aspects of the business. For instance, if it's a record contract, you have to know how records are made, what it costs to make a record, what it costs for an engineer or producer, what it costs for background musicians and singers, studio time, how records are manufactured, how they're distributed, what the deals are and the distribution deals, what they cost at wholesale, what they cost at retail. You have to know the entire business, in addition to knowing, of course, the law that's applicable to that business. I would say that's fairly accurate, that we're in probably the biggest sea change ever in the music business. I mean, prior to that, music business or the record business, there's a difference between the music business and the record business, but assuming you're talking about the record business went from piano rolls to 78s, to 45s, to wire, to tape, to LPs, and from there to CDs, and from CDs to now DVDs and other aspects of high definition of product. And it was always one step at a time. We proceeded from one technology to the next technology. There was some overlap, but generally the new technology swamped the previous technology, and we just went from one to the other, and it had its ups and its downs. Now we find ourselves in the digital age, and the digital age has allowed absolutely, totally unrestricted access to the product, whereby somebody doesn't have to buy a piece of product. They can go ahead and find it on the internet in some fashion, download it, and take it without paying for it. And so for the first time in our industry, the companies, the artists, the producers, are trying to find out how do we get paid for our music, because they're taking our music. They're taking it. They don't appear to have a conscience about it, and they don't want to pay for it. So if they don't want to pay for our product, the question is, how do those in the record industry, well, the companies on one hand, but I'm concerned with artists, and I'm concerned with producers and engineers, and how do they get paid? Songwriters, how are they going to get paid if everybody's taking the product? And that is what the entire industry is wrestling with right now, is the economic model, or what will be the economic model, to allow artists to survive for the future. I'm optimistic in the following sense. I think music is being, I hate this word, consumed more than ever in history. More people are involved in music. And the question is, what's the ultimate model going to be? Is it going to be a streaming model? Is it going to be a download model for pay? I have an idea that it's going to be a combination of a few things. And I think ultimately you'll be paying money like I'm paying for my television at home. I'm paying, for DirecTV. I'm paying a monthly subscription, and I get almost anything I want. And we're going into a VOD, video on demand, or